It is March 28th, I believe it is. That looks good. That looks good. Every other lawn in the neighborhood is basically brown, still dormant. Even my front is still pretty dormant. But this is amazing. I've kept it short. I've put out PGF Complete, sprayed it with super juice, put down humichar, and put down organic material. I don't want to say organic fertilizers, but I put down organic material. Today, that's what we're going to talk about. We're going to talk about organic fertilizers, the pluses, the minuses. So hold on one sec. All right, so I got to be honest. I've made this video 5 times and I've trashed it. It ends up being too long because there's too much to cover. So I'm going to try and shorten it up for you. The first thing you need to do is click subscribe button, because this kind of ties into the other videos that we're going to be doing. It's a series, so click subscribe wherever that thing is. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to walk over here and show you the simple fact that I want you to understand something. This organic material that we're talking about and organic fertilizers in general are very, very weak. They're very mild. So don't use organic fertilizers unless you have a really strong lawn. You need to put down something like PGF Complete, or consider organic fertilizers as a supplement, just like super juice. Super juice is a supplement. But to really get your lawn going, you got to put down PGF Complete. One of the reasons, though, we put down the organic fertilizers is because we want to add organic material to our soil. And I want you to understand that the reason why your soil looks like crap and mine looks like crap, is dig it up, it's red clay, it's because nothing dies on my lawn. For your soil to be really dark and rich, you have to have a lot of stuff die on it. You have to have organic material, which is living beings, plants, humans, animals. It has to die on your lawn to decompose, to go through the humification process. Humification process. And that's what turns your soil into that dark, rich soil. So by adding biochar or humichar, and by adding this organic material, and having the microbes do their business, that's what really makes our soil healthy, and we can use a lot less fertilizer. So let me show you this garden for a minute. This is our garden that we're doing this year, and there's a reason why this soil in here looks absolutely beautiful. It's dark, it's rich. Matter of fact, I can even probably come over here. I've got another strip over here. Okay, so if I dig in here, I want you to look at this soil. See how dark and rich it is? Man, imagine if your lawn was like that. Look at that. And that's because lots of organic things have died in this soil. Lots of compost. Lots of organic things have died and gone through the humification process, where basically a lot of carbon has been left in the soil. Number one, that's why we add humichar and biochar to our soils. Organic matter, as it breaks down, releases, the microbes eat it, and this is the way I like to say it, the microbes poo, and that microbe poo releases nitrogen, phosphorus, potassium, and all those nutrients. After that process happens, then what's left, it can only break down so far, and it's basically a lot of carbon material, humus. And that humus is what really turns that soil really nice and gets it rich and increases the holding properties, and our soil can hold on to the nutrients versus being washed away. This is the whole process. So the cheap organic material that I'm talking about, I'm going to link in the description below, and I'll tell you how to get that in a second. But let's look at this soil real quick. We've got our garden started. I want to kind of just dig down and show you through the straw here for a minute. This soil is amazing. Right there, look at that. Is that crazy or what? That's gorgeous. That's what I'd love to have all over my lawn. Okay, so in a minute, I'm going to show you, the girls came over and helped me out. Jacob was here, and we put out humichar, and we put out organic matter, and then I came afterwards and sprayed with super juice with a microbe pack. How do you get this cheap organic material? In the description below, there's a link to our webpage. When you click on it, it'll take you over to a page with this video on it. It's dedicated to this video. And below it, you'll see the bag of feed that I'm talking about. You click the bag, and what you do is you copy the SKU, and when you get to their website, up in the search box, you enter that SKU, okay? Then it'll take you to the exact product. And the reason why I say the exact product is because there's a ton of them. There's products with medications, with chemicals, special chemicals in it. There's different forms of it, pelletized versus granular. You want this exact product. We've tested this fall. We spent a lot of time. So you use that exact SKU. Nice thing is you can add it to your cart, and you can actually pay for it, and then you can pick it up the same day. So hopefully you have one of those supply stores near you, and you can actually pick it up right away. But you have to have this exact product. Also on that page, do me a favor, I'm going to put in an important video there that you need to watch. And I've said this time and time again, and I did this once before. Man, it's windy. I put this video up once before, and several people watched it and said, man, that was a great video. It's a video by the BBC. It's called The Search for El Dorado, the Lost City. And it explains how the ancients were able to transform the worst soil in the world into the richest soil in the world, that even today, thousands of years later, they excavate this soil and they sell it because it's so rich. And they did it basically with two things: adding biochar, the humichar, and adding organic matter, and letting it work over years and years and years. And it's absolutely amazing soil. That's what we're doing to our lawn. Eventually, if we keep repeating this process, putting down organic material and humichar down, or biochar, eventually we'll get to the point that we have to use almost no fertilizers, or very little fertilizers. Now remember, organics are not effective in the spring, and they're not effective in the fall because the microbial activity drops down. And the organic material has to be digested. It has to be digested. You got to have a lot of microbial activity. That's why it's good in the warmer temperatures, and I use it as a supplement. I still use PGF Complete as my primary. I just use the organic material, the humichar, and super juice just as a mild supplement. But man, let me tell you what, it's a fantastic way to feed your soil and make your soil rich. It's a long-term lasting improvement. So without further ado, if you want to learn more about biochar and the effects of biochar, I've got videos up. What is biochar? And it explains it. Go to our channel and look at that. If you want to learn more about humichar, I explain the humichar. I understand now everyone's saying, when's humichar going to be back available? The first shipment of humichar went to Amazon, and it sold out in 6 hours. It was 15 pallets. It sold out in 6 hours. And then this lockdown happened across the nation, and it kind of slowed everything down. So we're hoping within the next month they'll be able to get the production back up and get it back over to Amazon. But just be patient. At some point we'll have it back out, and we can start repeating this and putting it out and putting it out and putting it out. So the first thing we're going to do is the girls came over. I'll show you. We put down humichar, we put down the organic material, and then later in the day I mixed up super juice with a microbial pack, and I'll list all this stuff. If you click in the description, there's a web page. You go to the web page, and I'll list the super juice, the microbe pack. I'll list all that stuff, and I'll show you exactly how I do it. And I spray the super juice with the microbes at a certain time of the day. You want to figure that out too. There's a reason why I do that. And what else? I'll cover a few different things. So let's go do this.
You weren't recording. Fail.
Fail. I got the ugly crew here today. I say that every time. You know we're the pretty ones. All right, so you don't know, this is part of a series. We already did the real cut. Now what we're doing is we're doing the organic matter and humichar. If you haven't watched the soil video that explains how these two work together and how organic material works into your soil, you need to watch that. Next, this is the organic material I've been talking about for 3 months. In the description below, there's a link, takes you to our website. On the website, there's instructions how to find this. And the reason why I say that is because you want the exact SKU. They make all kinds of this stuff. They make it pelletized, they make it crumbled, they make it with medicine inside of it. They make it for egg layers. They make this is the one you want. So follow the instructions, please. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna put out humichar today, and we're gonna put out the organic matter. Now for May especially, humichar Did you watch that the Terra Preta?
Yeah.
Okay, it's a pretty. If you haven't watched that Terra Preta video that I talked about earlier, it's really cool. But Humichar acts like little sponges, and it holds nutrients, and it holds microbes, and the microbes are what digest that. So without microbes, if you put that on your lawn, you're wasting your time, and you could probably cause more trouble. So the steps we're going to do is we're going to put out Humichar, we're going to put out the poultry, and then we're going to spray with super juice with a micro pack on top of it. So we're going to spray on top of that. That's the new Anderson spreader. We're going to use the Humichar in that. This stuff, now this is the AgriFab I like. This stuff is very, very light. So a 50-pound bag is a lot of stuff. So we're using a really big hopper one. So we're going to have, I don't know, we'll have one of them do the Humichar and one of them do the poultry, and we'll just sort of put it all out. We're doing it on the backyard today. Okay, so I'm going to put a link to the spreader in the description, because this is, for 150 bucks, that's the best spreader you can get for being huge. This is the organic material. Instead of putting manure, human waste, bio waste, dead, nasty clippings, mulch, how does this smell? It smells great. I mean, I can smell it from here. It smells like it gets the milk. I want to eat it. I want to put it in a cereal bowl. It's really, really clean. The only issue is it may attract some birds, may attract some wildlife, and you only want to put it down on your soil when you have microbial activity. That's the main thing, because the microbes digest this and turn it into what's good for your lawn. Here is, everybody's playing with the Humichar. This is what everybody wants, Humichar. Now, as soon as water touches these particles, what happens to them?
It dissolves.
Boom, it just goes into like 1,000 pieces. So I'm gonna have May, I'm gonna have you put out the Humichar. You used that spreader, didn't you?
I use that one.
You use that one? You can go ahead and put out the Humichar. I have not used this spreader with this, so I don't know the setting. Normally when I put out a DG product, it's like 1/4 of an inch. I've got it set at about 1/2 or 3/4. We'll see how it goes.
Trying to save myself. Don't wanna be here alone. No, no. A place we used to go all the time. I need to do this alone. So just stop calling me up. Just realize that we're done. Don't come back.
Okay, so we've put out the Humichar and the organic material. And you can see it right there. There's Humichar and organic. I'm gonna block it out with the sunshine so you can see it better. But that's about how we want to put it right there. So we're out here in the front. And we've been out here all day just about. But Jacob is doing the organic matter. I did the Humichar treatment out here. I'm putting it kind of heavy on the front, to be honest. But it's kind of hard to detect the throw pattern on this thing. Hey guys, so we put out the organic material, we put out the Humichar. That all got done. Jacob and I actually finished up the front because the girls had to do a bunch of reel cutting. And we ended up putting it out heavier than I show in the video. we put it out pretty heavy. You gotta just kind of play with it. Remember, organic material cannot burn your lawn. So, I mean, you can put it out a 1/4 of an inch thick. It's just going to cause a lot of rot damage if you get it too heavy. It's just play with it, and you really want to see it heavy, kind of heavy on your lawn. So, I would say 50-pound bag for 10,000 square feet is a heavy treatment. I think we used about a bag and a half maybe out here, but play with it. Like I said, you can't really worry with it. So we got that done. So now we're going to move on to the super juice and microbe pack. If you don't know about super juice, you're going to have to research that on your own. But basically, mixing up super juice, and then I'm adding some of the microbial pack. Now the microbial pack is a little pack and it's expensive. It's like 29 bucks for a little pack, but you only need like a teaspoon because they multiply. You don't need much. And then I just came out here and spray it. But here's the important point about this. It's when you spray it. You want to spray it right before dusk, when the sun is almost set and the temperatures are dropping, because you want it to stay moist overnight. In other words, you want this biochar and you want the organic material to stay moist along with that microbial pack all night long. And if you do it right at dusk when the sun's down, you start to get that dew on the grass, and that's the perfect time to spray it. So let me walk you through that real quick. Hey guys, so I'm using the new spray bottles, and there's a link on the website to them, and I found that they work pretty well. Again, I'm doing this later in the evening. As the temperatures drop, you start to get, there's no evaporation basically. So I want this all moist overnight. All night long it's going to stay moist. And that's what I want. I don't want to put this out where it's going to be dry in 30 minutes. So you're going to spray it in the late evening. Alright, so I don't know if you can see it or not, but there's this glistening mist. All the grass is kind of wet, kind of like the dew is falling. And guess what else is falling? The temperature is falling. There's no sun, the temperature is falling. So that's going to stay wet. It's going to stay wet all the way over the night, which is going to do what? Melt the humichar, activate the microbes, start the digestive process. That's what we want to do. See it? That's what I want right there. Morning. It's the morning after. Alright, so follow me on this. Yesterday afternoon, we put down the organic matter and we put down humichar. I came out at dusk and sprayed super juice. So my lawn, and you can see the dew all over the lawn down here. So what does that mean? That means that my humichar, my super juice, and my organic material was sitting all night long, damp and wet. So let's talk about the organic matter, since a lot of you can't get humichar right now. But the same thing applies to humichar. What happens to your bowl of cereal when you leave it in, when you pour cereal into milk and you leave it there for a couple hours? It just disintegrates. Just gets all mushy. Well, this is for the anally retentive person. And since we're locked inside, got nothing else to do, here's a little tip for you. So we know that a lot of this, especially this light organic matter, will be sitting up on the grass up high. It doesn't fall down in. So, see it? But it's all wet. So what I do is I just take this little hose. I don't really use a spray attachment. I just use this thing. And what I do is I go by, and I just walk around the yard. And I just get a little bit stronger. And now what I'm doing is I'm taking that, both the human char, which has been dissolved, and the particles which have been dissolved, and just sort of blasting them into the ground. Does that make sense? It's not necessary to do this. The rain will do this, but I'm not going to have rain for the next 5 days, and I'm bored. And it's a beautiful morning. It's 60-something degrees out here. It's going to be 85 degrees today. To do my entire yard like this, which is close to 18,000 square feet, it takes me about 15 minutes on the front. It takes me about 20 minutes on the back, and I just come out here and I just spray the whole thing, walk around, and just spray it down. The girls come out and do their stuff, so I actually find it, this is probably the most relaxing part of my day, to be honest. I enjoy this the most. I'd rather be doing this than cutting or anything else. It's just really nice. Plus, the morning is a good time to water the vegetable garden. If you have a vegetable garden, you always want to water it in the morning. You don't want to water it at night because you create fungus issues. So if I need to water any, I'll go over there and water. Just a tip. Okay, so we're all done. So I hope this video helped you guys understand this organic matter. Again, you can put it out pretty heavy. Don't worry about it. But just make sure that you've got the warmer temperatures, because organic fertilizers don't work, and they don't work well in the cooler temperatures. This is when we get into that warmer spring weather when we want to put this organic material down. And our goal really is not so much to fertilize our lawn. We do that with PGF Complete. This is really about improving our soil and getting that, turning that ugly, crappy clay soil into this richer material over time by adding the humichar and adding this organic matter, stimulating the microbes. Remember, microbes need food. If you don't feed them, they're going to die. So they do need organic matter. Hit that subscribe button, and if you have any questions, just go to the website. I list everything on the website. All the product links are there. And we got a bunch of videos coming out. We got a couple new guest reel mowers too. I'm finding people everywhere. I'm talking to someone, they're like, yeah, come on over, I'll pay you to cut some grass. It's crazy. This is a crazy time, I'll tell you right now. So anyways, thanks for hanging out. Hope you guys are safe, keep your family safe, and talk to you later. Doc.